and talking with Kelly Russell,
hey, Blaine.
Candidate for Alderman. How you doing?
Good. How are you today?
Good. There is 9 Democrats running, right?
That's right.
Which on September 15th will be narrowed down to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us who Kelly Russell is, professionally, personally, anything you like. You get kind of an opportunity to tell our listeners who you are.
Sure. Thank you. Appreciate, first of all, the opportunity to come on the air and chat with you. I grew up in Rockville, actually, until I was about 16, and then bopped around college a little bit. Ended up in Frederick in 1983 because I wanted a career in law enforcement. And I came to Frederick and was accepted to the police academy there. And so came on the department and served there for 22 years. I just retired about 4 years ago, 2005, leaving my last position in the police department, which was with running the Human Resources Division. I live in Frederick. I've lived in the city of Frederick for all 26 years that I've been in this area and call it my home. I am currently working part-time for the Frederick Police Department. Again, after retirement, I came back, just couldn't stay away from it. And my position now, as you well know, is Special Vehicle Coordinator. And as part of that, I handle abandoned vehicles, and as the other part of it, I administer the taxi cab regulation for the city of Frederick. You're
the person that we come and get our licenses from.
That's right.
As after we meet with the Taxi Cab Commission, which consists of 3 aldermen. So why are you running for alderman? Why did you decide that you wanted to be alderman, and what kind of puts you into the, there's always some reason someone says, I like to run for public office and I like to run for this particular position.
Sure. Well, it's interesting. As I've listened to some of the candidates give their reasons, this is something that I've planned on doing for almost 4 years now, since retirement. And I had risen to a position of command in the police department. I had an opportunity to work with different areas within the city government and also working with citizens and trying to solve some of their problems. And after I retired, that's sort of, I'm a public servant, that's kind of what I do. And I felt a need to continue in some vein doing the same kind of work, but I wanted to broaden my horizons. And so it seemed only a natural segue for me to start planning on running for office. And I had said, it had been no secret almost 4 years ago that I had intended to do this. So while I could have run in the previous election, I was eligible because I had retired. I decided that what I really wanted to do was kind of work and prepare myself. So I applied for a couple of different appointments.
Now, when you say prepare yourself, what and that's an interesting comment. And I find it interesting because, I think preparation is a good thing. What did you feel that you needed to do to prepare to seek this position?
Well, even though I had worked for 22 years within the city government, I had a pretty good feel of, how things operated and what the different departments did. I felt that I needed to broaden that base of knowledge, and so I applied for a couple of commissions. I currently serve on the Zoning Board of Appeals. I applied and got appointed to the Neighborhood Advisory Council. It's been there for almost 4 years, and got myself involved in some community projects that allowed me to interact with different boards and commissions to actually advance some projects. And that's really what I mean by preparing myself, is really get a broader base of knowledge of how the city works and the processes.
All right. Now, what's your platform? Why are you running? What will Kelly Russell do for the citizens and taxpayers of the city of Frederick if elected?
Well, the platform question is funny to me. I guess the word platform, what I say my platform is common sense for the common good.
Okay.
It's my slogan, my platform, my logo, whatever you want to call it. But what I believe I bring to the table is a base of common sense. I come from a position where I've had to moderate, mediate, and solve problems, and that's one of the things that I bring to the table. What I definitely believe needs to occur within our city government is sort of opening up the doors again to what's going on in our government. One of the things that we were lacking during this last administration is a public information officer or communications coordinator. It's so critical in these days of the technological age that you have access to information and just what's going on in projects that are developing in your city and how things are growing. And there needs to be a central repository for gathering that information and disseminating that information. So what I want to see happen is us create or recreate that communications coordinator kind of a position.
One of your things, if elected, would be to bring up the creation and implementation of the Public Information Office.
That's right.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think that's critical. Another thing I strongly believe in is the community and government bond and the partnership. And, the NACs are very important to me. And I've heard in discussions at a lot of the NAC meetings, why don't the aldermen come to these meetings? Why don't they attend? And what I'd like to also do is create an aldermanic liaison to the NAC so that there is a person within the Board of Aldermen that is responsible to the NACs and that can help give them the voice that they need. The NAC is it's really a community forum. It's a city-sanctioned forum for folks to talk about problems that are going on in their neighborhoods and develop ways to solve them and work in partnership with the government. And I'm a firm believer in that.
Now, would that be somebody from existing staff, or would that be a new position created, or what do you kind of imagine that role being, and who would maybe fill that role? Now, would that person would report to the alderman?
No, I'm actually talking about, for example, you have an alderman that is a liaison to the
Okay, I'm sorry. So you're talking about an alderman would be.
That's right. That an alderman would be the liaison.
How many NACs are there?
There are 12 NACs.
So one alderman would be responsible, or would you break the NACs up and divide them amongst the aldermen? That brings a whole other question of the geographic responsibility, and then we're starting to talk about maybe being responsible to precincts, which is a whole other discussion. And I understand discussion needs to take place, but
sure.
As you can imagine, probably asking one alderman to show up to, was it 12 monthly meetings, I guess?
Well, and that's not necessarily what I think the role would be. Stephanie Ambush, who is our community outreach coordinator, does attend every NAC meeting. That is her job, and she acts as the conduit. But I think it's important for that position and for the NACs to have to be acknowledged as they're actually an appointed board, no less with no less authority than other appointed boards, and so I think they deserve to have an alderman that is devoted to them.
All right, we're going to take a quick break talking with Kelly Russell.